on. 3 health. Oh. Here we go. Oh no. No. I used to be really competitive back in the day. I probably still am. This game really feels like competition. So humans are probably naturally competitive, right? And I work at university and I work with medical students who are famously very competitive. And I mean, when I was a kid, I was very competitive in running, cycling, and then as I got older, I got into climbing. Kind of not your normal competitiveness, but still trying to do better than everybody else around you. And then triathlon, running again. I wasn't competitive enough to work harder than everybody else at school, though. That would have been clever, that would have been useful. But is it a natural inbuilt thing? I think so. There's a famous British saying, keeping up with the Joneses, you know, when your next door neighbours buy a new car or paint their front door or something, you feel like, ooh, maybe, well, my front door's looking a bit tatty now, I should try and keep up with the Joneses. Competition gives you a buzz. Climbing gives you a buzz. When you do that thing you didn't think you could do, you genuinely didn't think you could do it, but you went for it anyway, and you do it, you get this reward, you get this buzz. And when I was doing triathlon, well, I was 3 times Welsh national champion, and I won the Welsh national champs outright, way ahead of it. Basically, it was like probably the most perfect race I've ever run, other than my marathon PB. But it was certainly the best race I'd ever completed. And I remember coming through the finish line. It's a big Long Beach finish, nobody behind me, plenty of time to celebrate. And I came through the finish, and instead of feeling that buzz and feeling that elation from this huge win, it was also on my favourite course, one of the toughest courses around. I didn't feel that buzz. I didn't feel elation. I just felt, oh, well, you didn't screw that up too badly then. Which is more a reflection of the process of everything I'd done to get there, and then I hadn't made any mistakes. Anyway, I think it was a little while after that I realised that competition isn't giving me what it used to give me. I should fall back and do other things. But in medicine, so I think in the UK in 2024, so before 2024, students were really competitive within their university cohorts and between universities. They wanted to get in the top deciles. They wanted to score as well as they could, even though a medicine degree is not like a normal degree where you get first class, upper second, lower second, third. A medicine degree is you get it or you don't get it. It's binary, largely. But where you finished and various other things all got fed into an algorithm that determined whether you got the job you wanted after medical school. So you do your with us 4 years, typically 5 years of medicine training at university, and then in the UK you go into the foundation programme. I mean, I just teach anatomy, but I think this is right. So you do 2 years in the foundation programme, so you go and get a job in an NHS trust, and you rotate around different jobs for different periods of time, and you get all the experience that you need. So I think in the first year you get a provisional license to practice medicine, then after completing the first year you get your full license to practice medicine, then after the foundation programme you go into further training, right, because medicine is constant training. And of course most medical students have an idea of where they want to go, the job they want to get. So you'd work really hard to get the scores to give you the greatest chance of getting that job. But in 2024, the program changed, and you rank where you want to go in order of preference. And a computer algorithm doesn't look at any of your scores, any of your performances, any tests that it gives you, I think this is right still, it tries to give everybody their first choice preference in the various trusts around the UK. And then for those that didn't get their first choice, it tries to give as many people as possible their second choices, and then their third choices and fourth choices and what have you. So for many medical students, it feels like a lottery. It feels like rolling dice. I don't understand how it all works, but I imagine the intention is to make the system better and give people the places they want to go to. Anyway, from my perspective as a teacher, I have heard and get the sense that students don't feel the need to be as competitive in their final years. They don't need to be better than everybody around them. They don't need to get the scores that the best scores in the world to get the job they want to get. They just need to get scores that are good enough. So they kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit. Is that good? Is that bad? Does that make them better doctors, worse doctors? Is that better for their mental health? Is that better for their working together? I don't know. I don't know. But it's interesting, isn't it? So when we get our new first years in, when we get our fresh students, I start them off, I say, you're a medicine student, you were very competitive to get here, you've got in, that's really difficult to do. The next 4 years are going to be incredibly difficult. And I try to kind of take the edges off their competitiveness and ensure that they work together and help each other, because they come from different backgrounds. Being a graduate entry medicine program, we have people from, pharmacy, people who've done anatomy before, people who've done, we have nurses, we have physiotherapists, we have other healthcare professionals. So people who've got a bit of medicine in their background already, it's like, okay, well, help other people with that bit of medicine you've already got, and they'll help you with the bit they've already got. And then we also have complete non-science graduates come in who probably need the most help. Anyway, I think then that everybody gains if everybody shares and works together, right? But academics have, academics have the same problem, right? It's hard to get where I am. It's hard to do the things that I've done. I didn't need to compete with I needed to compete with people to get the job, didn't I? You always have to compete to get a job. I didn't have to compete to get the degree, to get the PhD. But as an academic, you feel very competitive, and of course we've got lots of league tables now. We've got lots of the universities have various frameworks, various things they're trying to meet, because universities compete with one another because we're all put into tables and leagues, and I guess the aim of that is to encourage the best people to come to our unit. I don't know. Competing against each other is sometimes a bit of a negative thing, and we need to be more collegiate. We need to work together more. Universities are quite good at working together, but we're probably more competitive than we have been in the past because of these frameworks. But academics, I think there's this natural inbuilt competitiveness, and then this academic thing, and we look at each other and we think we should be doing what these other people are doing. And I find that quite difficult, and I don't really notice that I'm doing it. And I've snookered myself. I've painted myself into a corner. Academic jobs like mine are about research, teaching and management. I do a load of management because over the years I've been given more and more courses to manage, and luckily I've employed people to then oversee those. But I do a lot of management, so that's ticked, and that's kind of a small part of your job anyway. Obviously I do a load of teaching. I was teaching for multiple hours 3 days out of 5 this week, and anybody that's a teacher knows that the teaching bit is kind of just the bit. There's all the preparation stuff around it, and also I'm writing exams, and we're emending and standard setting. There's loads of work that happens behind the scenes. Students only see you for that like 3-hour slot or hour lecture, and they don't see all the stuff that happens to support all of this. There's all that going on, and the research thing. Well, I brought research money. I brought research projects. When I started this job, I was researching. I was doing basic science research, continuing what I'd been doing before. But that quickly collapsed under the amount of teaching that I had to do, which is not a bad thing. And I was warned about this when I took the job. The expectation when you're a teacher in medicine is to do medical education research. I am not interested in medical education research. I make lots of fun teaching things, right? And then I evaluate them. I get feedback from the students, but it's all low quality stuff as far as I'm concerned. But most of this is not driven by what's expected of me, how to get myself up the ladder. It's motivated by my personal competition with what I see other academics doing, right? And other academics, of course, aren't doing what I'm doing. And they may even look at what I'm doing and either think, what a flipping idiot, or, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm perceived. But I got to recognise that a lot of this is either my inbuilt competitiveness or the position that I'm in and looking at other people around me and trying to keep up with the Joneses, which is good motivation, but you got to set yourself limits. I've learned as a teacher, I actually, and also in racing and with other athletes, I really enjoy seeing other people do well. Like, that's a big thing in competition for me as well. When I see other people doing really well, even people I'm competing with, I love it. It makes me feel really good. In fact, nowadays I get more out of that than succeeding myself, which is one of the big rewards of being a teacher, right? I've said this before as well. The students that find it difficult, when I see them succeed, that gives me the greatest rewards. If I've got like a super highly talented student and they do well, it's like, well, how much help was I really? How much of what we feel like we need to do is driven by subliminal senses of competitiveness and seeing what other people are doing, rather than looking at what we want to do or need to do to get where we want to be, and doing those things. I don't know. The human brain, it's a complicated thing. We've got lots of drives and motivations, haven't we? All right. I want to do another run. I'll get myself a cup of coffee first. Right, come on then.